fishy friends? Welcome to Tim's School of Fishing. Class is in session. Today, I want to try to take this white smooth bone knife from Perkin. Perkin's kind of like those brother knives. If you've seen those brother knives, this is just a single bladed jackknife slip joint with smooth white bone. I want to try to take this and dye those bone handles, but not just a single color. I want to try to make a sunset dye on this. So I've got some yellow RIT dye, and all they had was the powder form. Got some orange RIT dye, and I've got some red RIT dye, and I've got a little bit of leftover eggplant purple for the very end to sort of darken it up. Now, I could have just taken yellow and added some red to make orange, but I didn't want to get into this thing where it just didn't turn out the exact shade that I wanted to. So let's get this camera turned around, get this knife prepped, and then let's go into the laboratory and do some science. All right, so let's take a look at this Perkin knife that I'm going to attempt to make a sunset dye. It's actually not a bad knife. It comes with this little leather belt sheath. And then we've got our knife here. It's just a white smooth bone, single bladed, no half stop. Nice grind on that blade. Not a bad knife. Fit and finish is not bad. I think this knife was like $19.99, and you get the knife and the sheath, so not bad at all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to scuff this bone because it feels like there might be some sort of gloss finish on there. I just want to give it a light scuff so that it will take the dye. So what I'm going to do is I want it to be yellow up here, fade into orange, and then into red, and then a darker red, which is why I'm going to add a little purple. So if I submerge the knife in the dye this way, the entire thing is going to be yellow. So then when I go to do my orange and red, I'm going to be doing that on top of some yellow dye already, and I'm afraid it'll make my orange too light, and it'll make my red kind of an orange shade. What I'm going to have to do is submerge the knife this way in just the yellow, and then I'm going to flip it over this way to submerge the entire bottom part in orange, and then just the bottom part in red. Now, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to give it a shot. I've got some bonsai wire that I'm going to try to rig up. So let's get into the laboratory and dye some stuff. Come on, let's go. All right. So I have rigged the knife up, and I have the depth of the water to the exact height on the knife that I want the dye. That way I don't have to try to hold it at the depth I want. I can just set it, touch it to the bottom of the pot. All right, so I'm going to put about half of this yellow RIT dye powder. All right, we are up to temperature. We're going to do this in 1 minute increments. So I've got a timer set. All right, so I've actually been in there in the water bath for about 3 minutes. The color on there is very faint. So what I'm going to do is add some more of this yellow dye. Since this yellow is very faint, I don't want it to transition into orange immediately. So what I'm going to have to do is kind of make a lighter orange color by mixing the two, and then do a little bit of transition that way. All right, so I've added more dye. Let's submerge this thing again. All right, so what's happening here is I have one side of the bone that seems to be taking up the dye pretty good, and the other side not so much. So unfortunately that's the case with natural materials, but I will tell you that I have been in this dye bath for probably 8 minutes now. So let's just let it keep going and see what we can do. All right, so I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get on the yellow. We've been in this dye bath for probably 12 minutes now. So this side over here, sorry you can't see so well because of the steam. This side has not taken up the dye quite as well as that side. So I'm happy with that side. This side, it is what it is. So what I'm gonna do now is let this cool off. I'm going to turn my wire around so that I can submerge it from the butt end. But what I'm going to do is take some of this orange and I'm going to add it to this yellow dye bath to try to create a lighter shade of this orange. Right, so I've taken a note card and cut it into strips. And so the idea is I kind of want to test the color of this orange. All right, we are up to temperature on our light orange. I've got it turned around now to stick the butt end in there. And I've adjusted the water level so that I can just set it on the bottom here. So let's let this run for a minute or two and come back and see what we got. All right, so it's taking up that orange and yellow mixture much faster than just the yellow. All right, so what I'm looking for is this little bit of light color right here, that light bit of orange. So now I'm going to dump out this orange-yellow mixture and just go with the straight orange. So we're going to go with a darker orange here and then transition to a red. All right, so we are up to temperature now with our just plain orange. I am going to set this down in here and leave it for a couple minutes and we'll come back to it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that, what we've got so far. So now the last little bit is to start working on transitioning to red. So again, I'm going to add a little red to this orange mixture and then dump that out and go straight red. So let me add a little red to this. All right, let me get this in there and we will come back to it. All right, so I'm pretty happy with my red there. Now what I'm going to do is dump most of this out so that there's just a little bit, so that the depth of the water is just above that bolster there. I'm going to add a little bit of purple to it because I want it to finish in a very dark, almost purpley red. So let me dump this water out and we'll come back to it and finish it up. All right, so I don't want purple here. What I'm going for is that, almost a burgundy. And that looks pretty good. All right, so let's take a look at this thing and see what I came up with. I think it turned out pretty good. I do like this side better. This is the side that seemed to take up the dye a little better. I like that we've got a nice transition and then we've got a little bit of patterning going on here. This side I don't like as well. I mean, it looks okay. This is the side that just didn't take up the dye as much, but I think it still looks pretty good on that side. A little better on that side. Overall, I think it turned out pretty good. Kind of what I was expecting and hoping for. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think this turned out okay. I kind of like it. Pretty cool. I had fun doing it. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of this. I really do like interacting with you guys in the comments. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Just click on my face right over there. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish, boys and girls. Class dismissed.